Most of us women have felt that moment where something just felt off. We end up brushing it aside, or we make excuses, or we've just been told that we're dramatic, so we end up dropping it. But Tara, you didn't. You weren't an expert, you weren't a profiler, you were just a daughter who trusted her gut about her mum's boyfriend. Now that boyfriend turned out to be the infamous Dirty John, who's a textbook psychopath. So for any woman right now who's at home that can't trust their gut or doesn't know how to trust their gut, take me back to the very first moment that your intuition was screaming, something isn't right here.
I wanted my mom to meet a fabulous guy. I wanted my mom to have that love and that happiness that she's always wanted. And so I just wanted to get to know him. I wanted to ask him questions. I was asking him questions about his family, about what he does. And I don't really care for how he's interacting. He's kind of giving me close-ended questions or answers. And it's hard to engage with him. And so that was really like my first meeting him red flag, was he just didn't want to engage. But the only thing he was really interested in talking to me about was my health, because he was a quote unquote doctor and anesthesiologist. And he was so pompous and he knew what was going on with my health apparently, but he was wrong.
Oh my God, okay. There's so much there. So first of all, you start to notice this guy's off. And so I'd really love to dive deep and understand why in that moment was that not enough?
Well, he already established the chemical bond with my mom. They were, I hate to say this talking about my mom, but they were sleeping together. And with that emotional bond, there's that connection. And when you go into that state, your bodies are actually building and trusting with each other. So anything someone says to her is not going to hit her as if it was before that moment, you know? And so there's that attachment. And then there's also, I believe, this generational trauma in my family that we grew up very Christian. First, my grandma was from the Nazarene church, which is fundamentalist. It's very hardcore. And so there's shame around having sex and that you have to be with that person and marry that person and that you're locked into that person. And so anything that is being said to my mom also, she's thinking, okay, let me go back to my deep core attachment that I need to be with this person because I've been told all my life that if I sleep with someone, I need to marry them. But also, he's a psychopath. He is so good at his game. If he wants something, he will most likely get it. He's going to make you the target, and he's going to lock in on that. He's going to treat you as a prey, and he's going to figure out, how can I get this? Because my mom blew him off the first night. He came back to her place, laid on her bed, made her uncomfortable, and she didn't want to get to that place yet of where they were sleeping together. So she told him, you need to get up and you need to leave. And he was angry. He reacted to that, and she didn't think she was ever going to see him again. But then he calls her. He starts saying, oh, I'm so sorry. And also, going back to that Christian fundamentalist, you're taught to forgive. My mom was taught to forgive the person that killed her sister. You know, we were taught to forgive what the males did. Anything the males did, it's okay. Oh, they're just being a boy. Oh, they're just being a man.
Okay, this is another strong moment, girl, because again, this episode, by the time someone leaves this, they're going to really trust their instincts. They're not going to ignore them anymore. So I'd love to actually really pull this apart. So that instance, John comes in, your mum starts dating him. He's super freaking weird. He lies on her bed. I mean, who freaking does that? He gets angry with your mum on the first date. He storms out. And yet your mum went on the second date. So the conditioning of us women, like you said, and then having been conditioned under your grandmother. So to give people context, your aunt was shot in the head by her husband.
Yes.
Your grandmother goes to court to defend him.
Yes.
So your mum sees, even in shooting someone, you should forgive them, you should defend them, you should have their backs.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And, she's taught to appease to men. I was taught to appease to men. Many women are.
What happened to Tara was so freaking horrifying and traumatizing that I didn't want to re-trigger her. But in case you don't actually know what happened, we're going to take a quick glimpse at the story that she told my girl, Dr. Ramani, on her podcast a couple of years ago.
I got to my parking garage. I pulled up and I saw this guy who was fiddling with a tire iron. And my dog started barking at him. I didn't connect the dots that it was John, but my dog did. So I got out of the car. Then John grabbed me by the waist, looked me in the eyes, and said, "Do you remember me?" I immediately went into flee mode, tried to run away from him. He covered my mouth, and I bit down as hard as I could on his hand. I actually brought up my purse to protect my heart, and I thought he was punching me, but he was actually stabbing me. But the knife literally went through my purse and barely got my chest. My dog was attacking his ankles, so I fell on my back, and John was on his knees, and I was actually wearing rain boots. So I kicked the knife out of his forearm, and it landed in the ice pick position, and just like my guides, God, whoever, told me just now or never. So I picked it up and stabbed him in the back of his shoulders. He fell on me, and then I was holding his head. So I stabbed him in his forehead, and then the last one was to the eye because that's the softest point of entry to the brain. And if I didn't do those, he would get up and he would kill me.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. So now you know the horror that was the story of what happened that day. But damn, this woman freaking came back. But there's still so many little moments. So I'd love to keep going through if you're okay with them. So I've got them written down of these moments. So he makes you doubt yourself. He makes you disbelieve the reality around you.
Oh, yes. So we were coming back from California Pizza Kitchen, and we get to my mom's place. My mom gets out of the car. She goes upstairs, but there was 3 of us in the back. It was me, my friend Dan, and then my boyfriend at the time, Jimmy. And I'm saying to John, because I'm opening the door and I can't open the door. And I say, "Hey, the child lock is on the door. Can you let me out?" And then he doesn't hear me, or he pretends not to hear me. And then he literally gets out of the car, goes upstairs, and just starts playing video games. And then I'm texting my mom, probably being a little dramatic, but now I don't think I'm being dramatic at all, because I think because of his psychopathy, that was such a power move on his part.
Okay, even you just saying, maybe I was being dramatic. Going back to the sign and then the trap. The sign is, this guy left you in the freaking car, walked off and ignored you and just left you locked in a car. The trap is, our conditioning, maybe he would never just ignore me, because we live to that code, right? You live to the code where you would never just leave someone in the car. Therefore, if someone left someone in the car, it must mean that he just didn't hear you. So we end up giving excuses to this behavior because we make it make sense in our head. So it was so right in front of you, but we do give people the benefit of the doubt. And how often do we keep giving the same person the benefit of the doubt, the benefit of the doubt?
Oh, yeah. Well, the week of Thanksgiving, everything kind of was, he was showing himself, to me at least.
In what sense?
He created this elaborate story about how all his stuff got stolen. He had 3 cars or something, 2 cars, something like that. There was a motorcycle, and it all got stolen. I'm like, that's a weird story. And I was just looking at John this guy is such a bullshitter.
And so when you started to see the bullshit, what did you do?
I started to ask my mom questions. I started to ask her questions because I feel like when you're in it, you're in it. You cannot see anything. And also, it's not going to help for someone to be like, oh, I don't like him. You know, if you hear that one of your girlfriends says that to you, you're probably actually going to distance yourself from the girlfriend and then be closer to that guy. So asking them questions kind of puts that thought into their head, and then you start to connect like the left and right hemisphere of the brain, and you're starting to think more. So I was hoping also by asking these questions, she would think. And I would ask her, like, okay, what happened to his cars? Okay, they're all stolen. That's kind of weird, especially since insurance would give him money for a rental car. Why is he using your car all the time? Why does he have all these stories? And then she would get defensive. She would say, oh, Tara, like, you just never like any of the guys I'm with. And starts to deflect on me. And that is 100% true. And I also had to understand that abusers are different to everyone. Some people are going to have great experiences with them. And then some people are going to have the experience I had with John. If he wanted you around, then you can hang around.
All right, guys, we'll be right back with Tara Newell. But for 1 second, are you struggling to build your confidence, to set boundaries, to stand up for yourself, to feel like you have a freaking voice? Then smash that subscribe button down there so that you can get notified every single time an episode comes out. Because we are here together to build our confidence so that no one ever pushes us around again. So smash that subscribe button, get notifications right now. Now, back to the episode. Okay, so in that scenario, so you start to ask your mom questions, absolutely genius, by the way. It seemed very strategic on your part. Let me just ask questions to raise flags for my mum to see. But then your mom turned around and said, but you don't like any of them. In that moment, even that phrase, I'm sure she didn't mean it, but now it's kind of diminishing your opinion of John, right? It's saying, but you don't like anyone. So if you don't like John, it's not like it's about John, it's more about you.
Yeah, and like just you putting that out there, like I even have to process that around now because I'm like, oh, my mom told me that I love her, but that doesn't validate a child who's having feelings.
Yeah, God, that's so true. I don't know your mom, so of course I'm saying this from the outside. I don't think that's a conscious thing, right? I think that that becomes a protective mechanism for your mom.
Yes.
And so it's not even about you, Tara, her daughter. It's about her as a mom to be like, oh my God, have I possibly chosen another bad guy? To protect myself from feeling shame of being maybe that mother. Let me just dismiss her thoughts and opinions. That way I don't have to think about, have I chosen another wrong guy?
Absolutely. You have to protect them because that's who you love. And that's who your heart wants to be with. And oh my gosh, this person's saying something about them. So I have to come to their defense because I see them as an amazing person, you know?
Mm-hmm. So many people will either stop at, I told my mom, she ignored me, so I haven't spoken to her for 5 years. Or I told my mom and she thought I was crazy. And so what I did is I just shut up. I didn't say anything. And then something bad happened to my mom. Like there's so many different scenarios that could have ended even worse, whether it's I'm in the relationship myself or someone I know and love is in it. And you said this earlier, you were able to see things that your mom wasn't because she so wanted to be in love.
Yes. Me, my ex-boyfriend, and then our 3 dogs were in the room, in my mom's guest room. And we were just thrown off by him, thrown off by who he is. Like we were just second guessing everything. And I had found a box in that room. And so he thought I was snooping. He thought I was questioning him more about everything. He thought I caught on to something. And he also wanted to deflect and turn it all onto me and say that I was after my mom for like her money, that that's all I wanted her in my life for. And I said, no, John, that's what you want.
You had the balls to say that.
Oh, yeah.
You go, girl.
I told him some FUs back, and then we just kind of got into a screaming fight, and then we weren't welcome there with that energy. And then that night, he gave my mom a sleeping pill. He would do this sometimes. He would give my mom a sleeping pill. Oh, I'm a doctor. Let me just give you something to help you sleep. Oh, this and that. And then she fell asleep, and then Jacqueline was texting with her, quote unquote her, but it was actually really John. And John was pretending to be my mom and telling my sister to jump face first off the balcony. That would be preferred. And saying that she should just kill herself. And it was like all John, but we thought my mom was saying this. And I just remember like holding my sister, telling my sister, because she was shaking, she was hysterically crying, because like a mother telling her daughter that she should go kill herself, that is something that would put you to do that, you know? So I just remember holding my sister, and John was just doing anything and everything he could to get that divide, to break us all apart, to have someone stop buzzing in her ear, and also gain control and isolate her.
Mm-hmm. There's so much there, girl. What I take away a lot from this is, if you start to notice someone deliberately trying to break up a dynamic, that's a big freaking red flag. And I really, really want to make sure I don't give the guy credit, but he's a freaking master manipulator. To be able to come in and persuade a mother to the point where the daughters then believe the freaking psychopath when he's texting these things as a ruse under your mum. Like, that's just master manipulation. So I really want to break that apart a little. So first of all, you spot the box, and immediately, danger, 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 because that's a reveal of something he doesn't want other people to see. So he immediately reverses the scenario and makes you the baddie. Because I think that's maybe a deliberate maneuver on his part. Instead of you having the energy to attack and put the spotlight on him, he took your energy and almost forced you to go on the defensive. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, you made me realize something else.
Oh, please share.
So something I just realized in that is that literally he was also isolating me too, so that he could get more of my mom's money. And so I wasn't being a draining source of it, because after that, I didn't talk to my mom for like a little less than a month. And I was like, I'm getting my rent on my own. She helped me out completely with everything. But I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my rent on my own. I'm going to do this. I'm going to prove to her I don't want her for her money, and I just want her for her love.
But even going back to, though, somewhat his plan worked, because instead of focused on showing who he really was, you were just trying to prove him wrong about yourself. So I go into, okay, you saw the sign, he's now trying to literally do a 180, spin this whole story, and the trap is he pulled the thread of your identity, of being a daughter that wants money from the mum.
100%. And I just really came to that realization that in that moment, he was manipulating me so much. And I thought, oh, like, screw him. I will show him, like, he's the wrong one. And it was, I fell for it.
Yeah, it's like that was the manipulation, right? And here's the thing, girl, like, I'm so thankful that you're here to be honest, because this happened almost, 10 years ago?
Yeah, like 2016.
Okay. You're still having realizations right now. I really want to hammer that home for someone listening right now, beating themselves up that they didn't see the signs, that how could I have fell for it? It takes years to unravel the strategies of a master manipulator. And so I don't want anyone to beat themselves up. The fact that you're still having epiphanies right now is exactly why a psychopath is able to get away with things for so long, because you guys weren't even the first. I mean, the amount of people that he had conned and tricked and hurt before you guys, they just don't get caught.
Yeah. Sorry, you're making me have so many realizations that I keep disassociating.
Yeah. And is it okay? Are you sure?
Yes.
Is it good, or was this
bad? It's
okay.
Good to like process it this way, because, I put that boundary that I don't want to talk about my attack today. Like, I'm not going to go back and have flashbacks about like blood and stuff. It's going to have bigger realizations where it affects my life even now. And like part of like even what I'm doing now is not dating, because you know, if we're girls and we're getting in these relationships over and over again and we're natural appeasers, and there's sometimes that we need to stop and get ourselves together. And like in Dr. Ramani says, like, if you've been in a narcissistic relationship, take a year off from the romantic stuff, because you are going to be still acceptable to those relationships as well. Because we have been appeasing to men all our lives, all these centuries and stuff. It's time to focus on us and do what we need to do for ourselves, you know? So don't ever, you know, like you were telling me, don't feel bad. We have been taught, we've been conditioned to get into those situations, but now we have so much awareness and education, like we're talking about in this podcast, where we can start to spot the red flags and the signs. But also, you have to create like a good group of girlfriends that you're going to listen to, and they're going to be like, hey, I don't like so-and-so because he treats you like this, or he talked over you, or he did this, and I want you to be aware that I see some narcissistic behavior there.
So it's leaving space for people to be honest with you without defending.
Yes, because if you're in it, you just can't see it. There's oxytocin being thrown at you, and sometimes like those red flags seem so fun.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more. Did not expect it to end like that. I thought you were going to say dangerous.
Well, like the red flags, that is so fun. Charming, charismatic, like they're the life of the party. Like it could be that person. You know, I'm not saying it's always that person, but just that is a red flag to me and something to be wary about. And that's fun. Like you want to go be wined and dined, and love bombing at first is so fun. You're getting thrown all this stuff. You're going out to all these dinners. Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Well, so actually, as he was love bombing your mom, wasn't it like every single day he's making her drinks and he's carrying her handbag? In that moment, did you see that as a sign, or were you like, oh, he's so sweet, look how much he takes care of my mom?
Well, it's funny because with my last ex, he would hold my purse for me sometimes. So I don't take like the holding of the purse like as a red flag unless there's so many other flags with it.
Great point. Coming up.
That's not normal to me to get like a hug like that, and even like, you know, dating and the touch. I'm not used to that, and so it makes it like very hard.
Sleep is so important, but when you're busy, when you're running around either taking care of the family, taking care of the kids, working on your business ideas, or actually going and just hanging out with your homies, by the time you get into bed, you can be exhausted but actually have problems sleeping. I don't know about you guys, but the chatter in my head of the things I should have done, the things I could have done, the things I could have done better, the things I failed on today, it just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning, and then you end up lying in bed just freaking wondering, when am I going to fall asleep? So guys, I want to tell you about something that I've discovered, which is Bioptimizer's magnesium tablets. Guys, these are the things that I now take before I go to bed at night. I literally get in bed, I pop one of these, and it really does help you sleep well at night so that you can get the rest that you need so you can wake up and be a freaking badass again. So go to bioptimizers.com/impact and get 10% off right now. That's bioptimizers.com/impact with coupon code IMPACT to get 10% off right now so that you can have a better night's sleep and then wake up and crack the freaking day.
Okay, so did you spot any of those with your mum from the controlling side of it? Because here's the thing that I really want to make sure that we talk about as well, is that doesn't mean it's a red flag. Like my husband takes great care of me.
Yeah.
Great care of me. If my feet are hurting, he'll be like, babe, I'll give you a lift. Like I'll jump in his arms, I'll jump on his back. Like it feels very nice to have a guy that's going to take care of you.
Yeah. So you like see that and you're like, well, that's good. That's what I should be looking for. But then it sucks too, because you're like, you have to go in between like questioning everything to like trusting. I went on a date probably like a year ago, and I've been practicing not sharing my story, because then I'm like, oh, I'm trauma dumping. And also they have to earn the privilege to your story. Like with touch, Like, I am not a touchy-feely person. I have to really work up to that. And there, like, even that date too, I was practicing touching his arm.
Oh. Actually, so that, I don't want to derail, but quick question. We met at a Spotify event,
Yes.
a true crime event, and when I found out who you are, I just came running up and hugging you. Was that okay?
No, you asked me, and that is like one really big thing about me is I really respect people that ask. And you said, oh my gosh, can I give you a hug?
Oh, you're right. I
Yes.
did say that, yes.
And then like, you could probably tell I was like anxious and
I actually couldn't tell, no.
Really?
Yeah, you hit that well, girl.
well, you do long hugs.
I did. You're like, I started getting really uncomfortable, Lisa, and you wouldn't let go.
But it was helpful because it's helpful to stabilize the nervous system.
Yeah.
And I thought that that's what you were doing.
No, well, the funny thing is, no, I actually remember giving you a hug, and I gave you the hug, and then I felt you pull away a little. But I have such admiration for you, and like, joking aside, it was just one of those moments that I really wanted to show you what your story and what you stand for meant for me. And I think a hug is a form of expression. And so when someone comes in and they just do this, pat and then leave, I was like, that wasn't a fucking hug. Like, so with you, I remember being like, I just wanted to like, sorry, I was like one of those creeps that held longer than
I need that. I need to work through that. Like, because of my family having so much trauma, my family's never been touchy-feely people. And so just like, that's not really like, me and my mom have like worked through this and we're like, okay, I need a like 2-minute hug right now. But it's like, that's not normal to me to get like a hug like that. And even like, you know, dating and the touch, I'm not used to that. And so it makes it like very hard. And I'm wary of everyone. So like, sometimes we have to talk it out loud to see if it's a red flag or is it our anxiety that we're worrying about.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Okay, so a couple of other things, if you don't mind, that I
Yeah.
wrote down. One of the signs, which I really want to talk about, that I think, like, if I could be involved in a study with this, I really would. Dreams. The things that we don't take seriously are our dreams. Now, I've interviewed a woman that was 103 years old, and she really believed her entire life dreams were the unconscious speaking to us. So now going back to dreams, gut intuition, you get silenced as a woman, maybe you can't speak up, you can't be honest, you can't say the true hard thing all the time because you're worried about ruining your relationship with your mom. That gut instinct gets almost suppressed. I'm not an expert, but I have a hypothesis. It's your way of your mind and your body saying, you can't freaking ignore this, so I'm going to interrupt your sleep and tell you this message. Now, tell me about your dreams, because I really think that this is a flag that we don't actually talk about.
Okay, so one of the crazy dreams that I did have was that I actually did stab John in my dreams. I just saw me repeatedly stabbing him over and over again. And I woke up the next day, actually wrote my ex Jimmy a letter, just basically saying that he can get the dog, this and that.
If something happens to you.
Yes.
Wow. You're really helping shape the signs that we sometimes see, we sometimes ignore, we sometimes address, but then dismiss. We sometimes brush past it. It's like where we started, of how many of us do that. And then, so thinking about dreams, imagine you went to someone, you're like, John's gonna do something. I had a dream. People, I hate to say it, people would think you're a bit nuts. It's horrible, and I may even be one of them.
Yeah.
But when I heard you tell that story, what are the freaking chances? Like, the chances that you have that dream, that that's going to happen, and then it happens. So I'm not saying that we should just believe our dreams are facts, but you better freaking believe I'm going to pay attention more to my dreams now.
Oh, yeah. But I think, like, for women and everybody, like, just doing a body check, tuning into our body, like, at least once a day and being like, okay, like, how do I feel? Because then you're, like, noticing how your body is reacting to certain things, and you're just bringing more awareness to yourself.
Mm-hmm. You also have spoken about that you felt like you were being followed. So talk to me about that, because I go back to we women know this shit.
Oh yeah, he was following me. He was stalking me. Like, he called my work the day before. He watched me on these trails, which I'm just like, why didn't he murder me then? He would have had a better chance at getting me. But he had a plan in his mind. So the parking garage was the plan.
It's amazed me how far you've come, and it's amazed me of what you were able to do that day. So I'd love to now talk about almost the aftermath, if you will, of your strength. The fact that you weren't only able to defend yourself and come out strong, which, girl, you're a fucking badass. Like, I said this to you 1,000 times since I've met you. I only hope and wish I have that strength, badassery when no one gets to fuck with me. Like, I really do. So thank you. I think that women don't have to be in victim mode in the sense of like, this is my demise. You've shown women that we can come out of it. Okay, now in saying that, you didn't just come out of it alive. You came out of it sharing the story, empowering women, where you're able to sit here and beautifully laugh, cry, be empowering, give tips, give tactics, and still be so sweet and gracious. For anyone, any woman that's listening right now that feels like they can't get up, they don't have the strength to get up off the floor again, metaphorically or physically. How have you come through that?
If you don't have that post-progression, you don't have like that positive energy, then your trauma may be forever stuck in you because you're not moving forward. You have to move forward or spin it into a positive light in a sense. And I know for some people, that is going to be a thing that stings and you're going to say nothing good ever came out of this. But you were alive, you're here, you have a purpose, and you can come much more stronger than you've ever been.
How do you then start to trust people?
Lots of therapy, EMDR therapy.
In case someone doesn't know what it is, if you don't mind quickly explaining.
Eye motion desensitization reprocessing, and it's basically equivalent to 10 talk therapy sessions.
Wow, 10?
Yes, and basically also if you're interested, your insurance covers like a certain amount usually. So like check up on that if you're like, I've been through some trauma, but I say try everything because healing is not linear. It doesn't, what works for one person may not work for someone else. So like finding what works for you. But I also think having a good routine is so helpful because that creates stability, and with trauma, there is a lot of instability. So creating that is like creating a safety network. And then also, you know, I listened to a few of your podcasts and you were talking so much about like the gut microbiome because the brain and gut connection, as you know, is so important. And if I go eat like a cheese pizza, if I go put sugar in my body's gonna hurt. I get inflammation in the body. I like get swollen.
So what does that then do to your mindset? Because I want to make sure that we connect those things. So in part of your healing,
I get more negative. I am down. I notice that I'm a lot more moody. I'm easier to react to things.
I'm so glad that you said microbiome. Again, I didn't expect you to answer like that. But when I think about how impactful the gut really is on how we feel about ourselves from a healing perspective. Like, I've always noticed the impact on my performance and my mood, my irritability, but I've never thought of it from a healing of trauma.
Yeah, well that, and then even I did acupuncture. I was thinking acupuncture is not gonna help me. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
I've never been so like homeostasis. I was like, oh, everything is so great. I'm not bothered. It just went through life like I was unbothered by everything.
You're like, you come on set and you got needles in you.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Ooh, this guy kind of has like a unrealistic reality with women. And then I was like, okay, no, he needs to go.
My morning routine is everything to me because it sets my day up to be able to go and
freaking crush it. But let's face it, sometimes habits and routines can get a little boring, especially when it comes to food. All I end up eating is eggs and bacon for breakfast until I discovered the amazing chocolate protein powder from Bilyeu. Now, they actually come in different flavors, but I can't believe that I get to eat this for breakfast. I get my 13 grams of protein that I need in the morning, and I also get to have chocolate for breakfast. It sets my day up to be absolutely amazing. I get all the energy. It doesn't have gluten, it doesn't have soy, it doesn't have dairy, it doesn't upset my stomach, but it still has the protein and the flavor that allows me to go and enjoy my day and freaking crush it. And right now, guys, they're actually offering buy one, get one free. So you can just click the link below and get yours right now. Cheers.
Okay, so that's beautiful. I was going to say, how have you been able to trust again? But that was an assumption. Are you able to trust again?
Little by little, I'm trying to regain trust in men and know, like, I feel like a lot of females experience this though, where like men just want to fuck you or screw you. And you're just like, really, can we just be friends? But it's not like a terrible thing. It's not like they're a psychopath where they're going to come after you, you know? So you don't need to prepare for that.
How do you make sure that your mind doesn't go straight to, oh my God, there must be a psychopath? Because that's actually part of what I was wondering. Like, if you've got the experience, you've got the triggers, and you see even remotely one sign, how do you avoid not going straight to, they're a psychopath, oh my God, I need to run?
I have to just do like my list of things in my head.
Oh, what's your list?
Oh my gosh. Well, one night I don't normally drink, but I went out and I had like a couple sips of champagne. So I felt tipsy from that. And so I was just like, oh, what are you into? And he just started sending me all these porn stars. And I was like, no, like, no, like, and then he started telling me how he slid into their DMs and he would ask them how they're doing and stuff, and like creating these pseudo relationships. And I was like, oh, this guy kind of has like a unrealistic reality with women. And then I was like, okay, no, he needs to go. I don't need to even keep him as a friend. He seems nice at first, but this is just too much for me. And I need to listen to my own self and draw that boundary, because that's a little weird.
Okay, so this is so powerful. Do you mind taking me through this a little bit
Yes.
more? Okay, so, because this is a skill. Like, this is something that I feel like you've mastered. So he sends you videos that you deem inappropriate. Okay, red flag?
Yes. And then it was also like a couple days after him continuing on, and I was like, read the room, guy. Okay,
so he went from 0 to 100
Yes.
way too quickly than you thought was appropriate. He did something inappropriate that you deemed. And the last one is he wasn't able to read the signs, or he was able to read the signs and deliberately made you uncomfortable. Either one isn't something that you want to be down with.
Yeah.
Got it. In moments where we ignore our gut, it can be very detrimental to us. But how, going back to where we started, how on earth do we learn to train it and trust it? I think it's the way that you're able to break that down of, this is what happened, this is what I saw, this is now the trail, and this is what made me cut it off.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've learned that, I don't assume you're going to be perfect, and I assume that there's going to be many moments where we let red flags go. That's just human nature. But being able to have a checklist and somewhat of a template for other women to now go and use to then try to listen to their guts, girl, it's so powerful.
Thanks.
Do you still believe in love?
I do. I mean, like, I love so deeply that that's like also the pause right now, because I like loved my ex so much. So I need to figure that out before I'm ever able to open up my heart to the next person.
There's too many women that either give up on love because they don't want to be hurt, or they have been hurt before, and so they so want love that they end up choosing the wrong person. And right before this interview, actually, I went on to Laura's episode and I started reading the comments. because I wanted to know how many other Tara Newells there are out there who have been hurt by psychopaths, who have been impacted by psychopaths, who have had just experiences to the nth degree. Because I think it comes back to, it's beautiful that women don't give up on love. Like, I really hope we don't, because I've been married for 23 years. Like, he's the love of my life. He's one of the most good humans, like a good man. And it can be great, but if you choose the wrong person, I mean, it can destroy your life.
Oh, yeah.
And so this comment really felt like it was almost like an encompassing of everything we're talking about and why we women get trapped in the first place. So this comment is from Exponential 2409. 8 years ago, I went on a first date with a charismatic, exciting, passionate man. I remember during this date, he looked at me with such wide, intense eyes. I'd never seen anything like it. In my gut, I knew this was a sign of something diabolical, but my hormones and desire to be wanted flooded my system, and I told myself, wow, he is so invested in this conversation. Nearly a decade later, I'm seeking every resource I can to escape years-long emotionally and mental abuse relationship. Trust your gut.
That's so interesting that she saw him as looking at her like he was a predator and she was the prey at first, but then she's like, oh, he's so into me.
Yeah, that line of, but my hormones and desire to be wanted flooded my system. And I just thought, it had something like 3,000 likes, that one comment. How many of us women, we just want to be loved. We just want to be wanted. We just want to be desired. And so in that effort to feel that, we end up sometimes, unfortunately, allowing these toxic people into our lives. And it ended, trust your gut. And so now, after everything you've experienced, after everything you've been through, if you could go back to that first day that you met him and you've got that one first gut instinct, what would you do differently?
Honestly, nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
Why do you say that?
Because if I said anything to her right off the bat, that would have made me seem even more emotional. And one of the things, like I said to my mom that I didn't mention, is that I told her over and over again, if he wants to talk, he wants to sit down, and he wants to come to a conclusion, I would be so happy to do that for you, Mom.
And the question, was that authentic, or was that partly a manipulation tactic that you knew as a psychopath, they don't want peace? And so now you're offering peace, and that in and of itself may reveal him.
So a little bit of both. Like, if he was a genuine person, he would have came and he would have done that. But I knew he wasn't.
So it's a way of you being graceful, giving him an opportunity, because if he takes it, amazing. Maybe I misread him.
Yeah. Because if I would have gave him a show, and I've given people a show before, but it's always used against me. And then people are like, she's emotional, she's erratic, she's all over the place. Like, how can we trust anything she's saying?
Do you think then someone like him, because you said I wouldn't have done anything because he would have used it against me, do you think somebody like him then would have won, quote unquote, no matter what you did? Because he's so tactical, he's such a deep psychopath that knows the tactics to use, that he would have gotten away with it no matter what actions you would have taken.
Absolutely. But Laura said this to me before, everything you've done, Tara, was 100% correct. And like Ramani said that to me too. So I did do everything how I should have done. You know, I questioned things, but you can't go back and change the past, and you can only push forward.
Yeah, I mean, to your point. So that's where I go, we shouldn't beat ourselves up. Like, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, right?
Yeah.
You're alive, you're sitting here, you're laughing, you're smiling, you're empowering women with every time you talk and go on a podcast. You're giving people the tools and tactics they can use so they never find themselves in that situation. So, I applaud you. You're amazing. Thank you for showing up today and being so transparent and honest and just being you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Where can people, if they really want to support your cause, you're doing so many things, like you said, you do charity work, where can people go and support you and see all the things you're doing?
Yes, so you can find me all handles Tara Newell, TeraNewell. Also on Twitter, Tara_Newell, but you can find my website, Tara Newell Survival. You could buy a course on there if you want to do a podcasting course, learn about ethical true crime, or if you just need some answers, you're going through this trauma already. I do 15-minute consults because I want everyone to have resources where they can go and just get the resources they need and get the help they need.
And you do those for free?
Yes. Free 15-minute consults.
Oh my God. Guys, I've done so many interviews to try and bring you guys the tools and tactics so that we can build our self-esteem, that we can have the confidence, we can go on dates, we can be in these romantic relationships and make sure that we don't lose ourselves. And I brought on professionals, FBI profilers, like I go deep in finding the experts to bring to you. And then when I bumped into Tara Newell, I was like, holy smokes. You're like me, you're the average freaking woman. This is the person we should bring on, because guys, we have been trained for so many years, our entire lives, to not trust our guts. But this woman trusted her damn gut and she followed it. And because of that, she saved not only her own life, but so many other women's by telling her story. So I really hope that you took those tactics and tips that she gave you today and you've started to implement them in your own life so that you can show up a freaking badass, so you can own the room, so you can have the confidence. So please, go and honor her by her sharing the story today. Go and follow her. Send her the love. Show in the comments right now what it meant to you, how much strength she has and what she's given you and what you're going to go and do with that strength. All right, guys. Hopefully you're subscribed. If you're not, smash that subscribe button down there. If you're not following me, follow me at Lisa Bilyeu. And until next time, be the hero of your own life. Peace out. If you're not sure whether you can trust your gut or not, and you really want to learn the early signs of manipulation, then I'm telling you, you're going to want to watch this conversation right here with criminal analyst Laura Richards.
The art of manipulation is someone making you do things and you don't